You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
So I just wanted to make sure I have this correct. And I know baseball is a funny game. Please, I am in no laughing mood for this. Okay, so Miami Marlins have been a bit of a thorn in the Phillies side over the years. We've referenced it many times before, conversations. And the guy that really highlighted it to me was Jason Stark a few years back. It's like, hey, the NL East is usually decided by the team that beats the Marlins the most. That's usually the Braves will beat up on the Marlins. The Phillies will struggle against the Marlins. And then the Braves win the NL East. So I never really take the Marlins lightly in any regard, even in this particular season where the Marlins are one of the worst teams in baseball, where the Phillies are the best record in baseball. And they've been that for the majority of the season. So I don't really take the Marlins light ever. But there's just a couple of things that were caution signs right in my face right before this series. The Marlins come into this series with the 26th worst ERA in baseball. They come in with the 26th worst whip in baseball. So, you lose Kyle Schwarber and you lose Bryce Harper and you say, all right, you know what? If there was going to be a series to have and kind of a ramp-up period where it's going to be a little bit abnormal, you're not going to have the big guns, so to speak, against the Marlins, and you have other guys that are looking to step up. If there was a series to step up and get things going in the right direction when you're minus two of your best power hitters, two of your best hitters in general, this is the series to do it. Epic fail. And look, they could lose tomorrow. They could win tomorrow. The fact that at best right now they can split right now with the Miami Marlins, that is a terrible feeling. To be down in a 4-game series to the Marlins is a terrible feeling. And yet, that's where we are right now. So welcome into the show. My name's Mark Farzetta. This is your Locked On Phillies postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe and all that fun stuff. We'll be breaking it down throughout the year as per usual. This particular episode is brought to you by Booking.com, Booking.yeah. That's right. The right stay can make you a fan of any city, even maybe your rival's city. Still don't like the rival, but you'll love the city when you trust Booking.com. Even your rivals, that's right. Check out Booking.com, Booking.yeah to start your stay today. Just as simple as that. Let's get into three big things. Number one, the bats. Look, I got my frustrations with Aaron Nola. He pitched his butt off today, 100 pitches. Just couldn't get out of the jam there in the 7th inning. Another example of this really reflect game one of this series where you had Zack Wheeler going out there dealing for the most part, gets into the 7th inning, tries to log 7 innings, gets to 6 2/3, just can't get that one more batter out. Same thing happened with Aaron Nola tonight. 6 2/3 at 100 pitches, even his last pitch was 100 pitches, obviously, and they give up the RBI in that regard. But very similar situation. He pitched his butt off tonight, and we'll get to him. But when it comes to this offense, can somebody please step up? I mean, the number one thing I'm looking at is your 2 through 5 hitters this afternoon. 2 through 5 hitters, which in this lineup, again, for the second straight day, is featuring Turner, Bohm, Marsh, and Castellanos. Castellanos is the only one that got a hit. Combined, your 2 through 5 hitters, as we have it in the graphic right there, 1 for 14. Now, one very small saving grace here is the fact that Alec Bohm in this game did have an RBI, which is nice. No, it wasn't Bryson Stott yesterday, coming up with 2 RBIs despite going 0 for 4 in the game yesterday, 0 for 3 in the game yesterday. But that's how you got to score your runs. Okay, so I'll highlight that. 1 for 14 with the 2 through 5 hitters, Turner, Bohm, Marsh, Castellanos. Cody Clemens got a hit for you. Garrett Stubbs got a hit that was a home run in this game. You got to look at Garrett Stubbs to be providing the pop for you in a lineup. That's where we are right now. Ridiculous. And your leadoff hitter today, Bryson Stott, actually got 2 hits for you. He actually worked a walk in the ball game tonight. That to me is just beyond frustrating when you're looking at guys like Bryson Stott, last 2 games, hey, no issue, man. You do your thing. But when you're looking at guys like Trey Turner and you're looking at guys like Alec Bohm and Brandon Marsh, who's being asked to bat cleanup, which is bonkers, but maybe Nick Castellanos can be moved to that role now. I know, about a month ago I was talking about how I don't want anybody like Nick Castellanos batting in that spot. Now it seems like he's the best possible option, but for whatever reason, Rob Thompson trusts Brandon Marsh. Doesn't make any sense to me. But yet here we are. Brandon Marsh in that spot, 0 for 4. Castellanos, 1 for 4 in the spot he was in today. Yes, that was a horrible strike column in the 8th inning. I think it was 8th inning. Low strike, low pitch, but it was called a strike despite being about 3 inches low of the zone, which is a lot in baseball. And I'm watching this offense, and there is nobody stepping up to make sure that they could bridge this gap between now and whenever you get Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper back. This is supposed to be the next man up type of mentality, right? Bryce Harper, what did he tell us yesterday before the game? Oh, you got pony up, cowboy, next man up? What? Okay. I'm waiting for that guy to step up. I'm not seeing that guy step up. It can't just be Bryson Stott coming up with the 2 RBIs last night, coming up with the 2 hits today of your 5, and then 1 measly hit by Nick Castellanos, and then the bottom of the order is helping you out. That can't happen. With or without Bryce Harper, with or without Kyle Schwarber, there are other guys in this lineup that are better than what this box score tells me. But today, this is a matter of fact, they were terrible. They are waiting desperately for somebody to step up and help carry this baseball team. And it seems like nobody, other than maybe Bryson Stott, really wants to do that. I know we're talking about 2 games here, but it's 2 games against the Marlins. I don't want, and I look, I laid it all out for you. It just seems to be a history here. We have the struggles with Marlins and all that. Now you can't do that. If you want to maintain the best record in baseball, if you want to keep the Atlanta Braves at bay, you can't have this 4-game series, God forbid, lose 3 of 4 to the Miami Marlins, to fast forward to tomorrow afternoon, and then go to Chicago, face the Dodgers, go out there and also face the Braves. You cannot continue to struggle like this against the hapless Marlins team and then expect to pick things up against the Cubs, the Braves, and the Dodgers. You cannot expect that. And that's where we're sitting right now with this Philadelphia Phillies team. Who's going to be the guy to step up? Is it going to be Trey? First of all, I love Bryce. Bryson Stott is the prototypical leadoff hitter. I love him batting leadoff. I'm fine with him batting leadoff. I've really enjoyed the last 2 days watching him lead off. The production was there with at least putting good contact on the ball to make sure you're able to get runs in yesterday's game. And then today actually getting on base. Love to see that. Trey Turner is the guy that I really want to look at as the guy that should be stepping up. You're looking at Trey Turner coming into this game, batting 329 coming into this game today. And you're seeing a situation here where he has had some struggles. Three hits in the previous 2 games in this series. Today was the day that you really wanted him to step up in this series. And he had opportunities to do it, and unfortunately came up small in those opportunities. Also had an error, I think it was in the first inning that kept an inning, or no, second inning, when Aaron Nola started to struggle a little bit. Fortunately, Nola was able to get out of that. And you're waiting for that next man up to actually step up for this Phillies offense, and you're not seeing it right now with this Phillies squad. Number 2 on this list. All right, well, we'll get to Aaron Nola. Nola, for me, pitched a great game. He was pounding the strike zone in the first 2 innings. You saw the home run there by Gordon to get the Marlins on the board. Phillies were able to come right back with another home run in the 3rd inning, thanks to Garrett Stubbs. But on that home run to Gordon, it was just strike zone, just pounding the strike zone for Aaron Nola. Sooner or later, somebody was going to jump on something, and that's exactly what happened. I think it was a sinker that he left up in the zone a little bit. Cutter, he left up in the zone a little bit on an 0-1 count. Again, hammering the strike zone. Gordon decides he's going to wait or jump on that pitch, and he got it low in the zone and just belted it out of the ball. Oh, belted. First row. Put it in the first row, 350 feet to right field. Just up enough for him to drop the barrel of the bat on and put it out of the ballpark just over Nick Castellanos there in right field. First row, Phillies are down now 1-0, but yet a 1-2-3 first inning. He struggled a little bit, and there was also that error by Trey Turner in the 2nd inning. Then you see him go in there in the 3rd inning, absolutely dominant in that 3rd inning. He had the strikeout to Chisholm on the 3-pitch fastball that was up in the zone, got him on that. De La Cruz flew out to right field. Bell got a single in that one that just found its way into the outfield, and then Sanchez flew out to left field. An 8-pitch 3rd inning for Aaron Nola after that 6-pitch 1st inning. So he looked to me dialed in. Just 14 pitches in the 4th inning. 5th inning, he goes out there, has some struggles, a bit of a long inning. But in that 5th inning, to start things off, he was at 53 pitches. He was on a pretty good pace to give you a lot of innings in this game, especially when you have had to call upon your bullpen before yesterday's complete game shutout by Christopher Sanchez. You had certainly used the bullpen quite a bit, including the 6 bullpen arms that you used in Detroit. So you have this game coming up here, or you have this inning coming up here in the 5th inning where you're having a lot of struggles from your offense. Nola trying to keep the bats at bay continued for the Phils or for the Marlins rather, and unable to do it as my camera is fried for some reason. My camera is like the Phillies offense. Hey, I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves for just a second. Hey, are we partying? Are we partying? I think we're partying somewhat. I don't know. I hope you guys can hear me. It didn't give me a thing where I could do the thing with the thing. Audio, let me just make sure. Yeah, we're partying right there. Hi, everybody. Appreciate you guys holding in there. I still can't believe if I check back over to wherever the heck it is. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm back, baby. This is great. This is at its finest. I'm telling you right now. There we go. Okay, do I have all that? I have all that. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Sorry for that delay. My most humble apologies. As I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted. Aaron Nola, absolutely pitching fine. Here's my camera. There we go. Pitching fine up until that seventh inning, unfortunately. Same deal that you saw when it came to Zack Wheeler in game one of this series. Look, I know the umpiring was terrible tonight. It was bad for both sides. Obviously, a lot of balls that were strikes, a lot of strikes that were balls, mostly balls that were strikes, though. So that was pretty bad. But it was the same exact thing for both sides, for both the Marlins and the Phillies tonight, unfortunately. So when you're looking at this Philly squad as to what they could be doing next, hopefully tomorrow they turn the page and they at least split this season, or excuse me, split this series with the Marlins. But I know you guys have your own axes to grind. We'll get to that when it comes to this game, who you guys are looking at more than anything when it comes to that player to step up. And as we were talking about before, we were talking about Trey Turner when it came to some struggles in this game, and really Alec Boehm struggling, and also Nick Castellanos just coming up with that one hit. So for me, when I look at this entire squad, you need all the bats really to step up. And any game that Aaron Nola is giving you 6 innings, 6 2/3 really, and going out there and doing what he was able to do today, any game where you get that from him and Garrett Stubbs hitting a home run, you should pretty much win that game. And unfortunately, the Phillies just came up small there. All right, we're going to talk about we're going to take our first commercial break. We'll be back in a second. You're Locked On Phillies postcast. Oh, let me tell you about how amazing Booking.com is. You guys have heard me talking about how I like to use Booking.com when I travel. I told you about a baseball road trip I went on some years ago, and man, we had ourselves a great time thanks to Booking.com. When it came to finding the right hotel, when it came to finding the right place to stay, no matter what city we were in, Booking.com knew exactly where we should be. It was amazing. We hit Baltimore, Boston, we hit Atlantic City, we hit New York. We went to Yankee Stadium, we went to Fenway Park. We had ourselves a great time. And then a few years later, we went out to Wrigley Field. And thanks to Booking.com, we found a great place to stay. With summer heating up, so is travel, especially travel for baseball games. So you know it's time to explore those cities in the U.S. And some of the great things they have going on. And when you talk about staying somewhere, you talk about Booking.com. Whether it's Baltimore, New York, Chicago, across the country, wherever, hotels that look over stadiums, hotels that are family friendly, resorts, Booking.com has so many choices across the U.S. for your summer travel this Major League Baseball season. The right stay can make you a fan of any city. No, you don't have to just like the rival. You can like the city. Book today at Booking.com, Booking.yeah, on site on the Booking.com app. Booking.com, Booking.yeah. You guys know I've also talked a lot about FanDuel and how much fun you could have with FanDuel. I love sports. I know you do too. Love sports so much that I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, or the championships wind down, and other sports, things in the WNBA are heating up, things across Major League Baseball are heating up as the All-Star break approaches. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily, every single day, a boost or a bonus on FanDuel. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com/lockedon and start making the most of your summer. FanDuel, America's sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. FanDuel/lockedon. FanDuel/lockedon. All right, let's get into the chat check and see how you guys are feeling about this. I'm going to have to look over at my monitor quite a bit to make sure I can pick up what you guys are saying. And thanks again for those that have hung on through the technical difficulties here on the show. First and foremost, let's get IBH up here. Greetings to all. Thank you, IBH. Look, very little offense till the big guys return. That's what it certainly looks like right now for your Phillies. Christopher Michael, what's going on? Let's be honest. We're embarrassing without Schwarbs and Harp. 5 hits against the trash team. I mentioned it again. 4 runs. 4 runs. Hi. 4 runs. 13 hits. Excuse me, 12 hits over the last 2 games against this Marlins squad. That is absolutely pathetic. Christopher Michael, what's going on? We definitely need to make moves for some bats or we're going to get torched in the playoffs. Yeah, that's kind of how it feels right now, unfortunately. Spurgeon King, what's going on? Turner had a terrible game. Took strikes that could have done something with that swing. Swung at balls way out of the strike zone. There was one particular at-bat that Turner had in this game, and I was about to get into it before I was so rudely interrupted by the technical difficulties. It was in the 5th inning. Rojas led off with a walk. Then Rojas took second on a delayed steal. Stott got a single. And then Rojas went to third. So he had first and third with nobody out in that inning. Trey Turner steps to the plate, and he gets a slider well out of the zone, and he takes a hack at it, and he strikes out. Then Alec Boehm steps up. That's when he got the RBI sac fly to left field. Johan Rojas scored on that one. That made it a 2-1 game, so that broke a 1-1 tie. Then they took Munoz out of the game. They brought in Nardi. Marsh faced him. Swung at a fastball away and went down on strikes, and that was that, the third out of the inning. But that 5th inning is really what came back to bite you in this game because they had in that 5th inning the 2 runners on with nobody out, first and third, nobody out. You have the meat of the order coming up here, especially with Trey Turner, who's a guy that I'm certainly taxing when it looks to the rest of it. When you look to the rest of this lineup, who's the guy that's going to be the guy stepping up for Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper? Comes up small there with a strikeout. Boehm comes up, musters the sac fly. This is something that always gets to me. When you have innings with guys on the bases and you're only squeaking out runs, whether that be a Nick Castellanos ground out to short in game 1 of this series, or that be Bryson Stott coming to the plate yesterday and just getting a sac fly RBI or a sac fly or an RBI ground out with 2 runners on. That kind of thing drives me crazy because, yes, you're getting something, and it's great to get something. But when you only squeak out 1 run and an opportunity where you have an opportunity to put up crooked numbers, they end up coming back to bite you no matter who you're playing. Even if you're facing the Marlins, as I mentioned earlier, a team 26 in Major League Baseball in ERA, 26 in Major League Baseball in WHIP. Even in games like that, you're not always going to get opportunities to put up those crooked numbers. So when you do get those chances, you have to capitalize. And in that 5th inning, the Phillies certainly did not capitalize in that situation. Spurgeon King, what's going on? Anemic offense, squandering good starting pitching. Pretty much. I'll eventually remember. My camera's over there. New phone. Tampa Eagle, what's going on? Our guys couldn't handle the pitching. The umpire's strike zone. The strike zone was lower than usual. JT, Schwarber, Harper will be back. Phillies will be okay. No panic. I'm not panicking. Let me get this straight. Phillies are going to win the division. Phillies are going to win in the playoffs. I still believe the Phillies are going to the World Series. This is a bad bump in the road. Phillies have some huge games coming up. So I'm not going to do what y'all think I might do, which is freak out, man. But I am going to be upset when they don't perform at the level that we know they can perform at, the level that they've been performing at all season long. So for me, that's something that's sticking out in my brain. Dr. MP, what's going on? We suck. Must lead the league in runners left on base. Maybe close to it. Although the thing about left on base is you got to get on base. And my bigger problem with the Phillies is that they're not getting on base. Sure, they'll have instances where they'll go, 0 for 10 like they did in game 1 of this series with runners in scoring position. They'll have instances yesterday where they barely had anyone with runners in scoring position. Anybody was in scoring position basically for the game in its entirety. And then you'll have games, as I mentioned, where you have 12 hits and you have 4 runs across 2 games against the Marlins. I know yesterday, we were all hyped up. Christopher Sanchez pitched incredible. He was absolutely unreal. Complete game shutout, all the adulation he deserved. But one thing that we couldn't lose sight of was the fact that this Phillies offense was terrible. Absolutely awful. And they continued that today, unfortunately. Let's see what else you guys got here. Straight trash, losing to the worst team in the division twice. I agree. This is also a team that put up 6 runs on Zack Wheeler in Miami. It's one thing that's definitely haunting me. Strike zone was the same for everyone. I'm not bitching about the ump. Our guys couldn't handle it. Fair. Well said, Tampa Eagle. Everybody tell your friends, let's get to 500 subs. Help Farzy out. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Right in the midst of me not being on it, just a blank screen with the graphics around it. Yes, please. Thank you. Spurgeon King, what's going on? Hello again. Never saw so many borderline strikes. Crazy. I'm concerned. I can understand why you might be concerned after a loss like this. After 2 games like this. Julian C. People stop making excuses about guys hurt. Yeah, there are no excuses here. If you want a legit explanation for why they might be struggling offensively, it should be falling back on the faults of other guys in this lineup. Like Trey Turner, there's no way Trey Turner. I know it's baseball. I know it's going to happen. But Trey Turner going 0 for 4 in a game where you don't have Schwarber and Harper, and you're not going to have him. And JT, I know he'll be back soon, but he's not in there either. These are 3 guys that are borderline all-star players we're talking about here. Well, one's a borderline MVP right now, the MVP as far as I'm concerned. And then you have other guys in this lineup that, are making a nice chunk of change to be guys that could help carry this lineup when some of the bigger bats are not in it. They keep losing to the Marlins, the freaking Marlins. I'm sure that's what that means. Thank you. Spurgeon King, what's going on? Whit Merrifield hitting below the Mendoza line, making $8 million. He only had 1 at bat in this game, but he's done nothing to earn that contract. Yeah, it's pretty much, unfortunately, been the story all year. Shows us Kyle Schwarber and Harper are the whole offense, which is scary. They play the Braves, Cubs in LA before the All-Star break. This division will crater. Oh, good Lord. There's one thing I wanted to check now. Braves are tied 1-1, bottom of the 9th inning in Atlanta against the Pirates. Braves at this moment are 7 games behind the Phillies. Oh, wait, no, that was old. Sorry. Braves did win. They won in 10. I didn't update that screen. I'm sorry. So the Braves have already won. So let me just make sure that was, what are they, 6.5 back now? No, 7. There's still 7 games up on the Braves in the division. I'm not going to start division watching just yet. Trey Turner contract will... Wait, I thought I had it. PY, I'm glad you like the coffee talk. Time for Turner, another standing ovation, says Mike. Yeah, please, let's make that happen. PY, talk amongst yourselves. Rhode Island is neither a road nor an island. Discuss. I was a little verklempt. Like, the camera just died. Oh, Babs, this is where you are. Babs, I tried to tell you. I was coming back. Yeah, here's me saying I'm coming back. There we go. The progressive era was neither progressive nor it wasn't an era. Discuss. Palm olive is neither a palm nor an olive. All right, now we're going into the weeds here. We're going to start reliving my childhood in a second. Babs, what do you got? This Phillies lineup today is better than half of Major League Baseball. They just lost. That's it. Fair enough, but why did they lose, Babs? Is it because guys choked? I think it's because guys choked. Mike, Marsh hitting cleanup is all you have to say, or all you have to see. So let me ask you this. Are you okay with Stott being in the leadoff man? Are you okay with Trey Turner still batting second? Are you okay with Alec Boehm batting third? Or would you move Marsh to third, Boehm to cleanup, keep him in cleanup, shift your lefty, righty, top of the order, go righty with Turner, then lefty with Stott, then righty, Turner, lefty Stott, righty Boehm, lefty Marsh, righty Castellanos. Yeah. Because that's the only other thought I had. And look, one of the things I was just praising was how much I like Bryson Stott at the top of the order. But without Kyle Schwarber, Bryson Stott's a great guy to have as your leadoff guy. I could understand, though, for balance at the top of the order, if you decided to go Turner, Stott, Marsh, Bohm, and keep the balance like that. I'm not going to panic over this. But if you're continuing to struggle offensively and you're going into these bigger series against the Cubs, against the Braves, against the Dodgers, then if it's not working, you got to fix it. You know, I know everyone wants to talk about how if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, if it is broken, fix it sooner rather than later would be better. What's going on? Tampa Eagle telling me my audio is fine. Thank you. Babs, Farzi, I like the side profile. Thank you. It accents the schnoz, is what it does. Appreciate you, Babs. Thank you. Farzi could be on a coin. I could be on a coin. First commercial break. Grumble, grumble, grumble. I'm not making excuses. I'm explaining. It's not an excuse for saying people choked. Turner contract will not end. There's Mike. Okay, thank you. Worst bench in baseball. Certainly feels like it. Who's the guy that's afraid of the Cubs? Laugh out loud. That's crazy. Well, if you're afraid of the Marlins, which I kind of am right now, then I'm afraid of the Cubs, unfortunately. All right, thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful, as per usual. They haven't been hitting well since the Rocky series, says Julian. Absolutely. This hasn't been the same team since that road trip. I mean, I remember, I don't know who said it in the chat, but somebody said during the chat that they're just a team that they're barely beating guys, and if they're not hitting home runs, they're not winning. Well, at the time, there was a little spurt of that, and now that unfortunately seems to be the MO. I mean, you even look at the 12-run game they had. You know, they had a gaggle of home runs in that one. Thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys are great, as per usual. Much appreciated. Let's get to our next commercial break. We'll be back in a second. Talk about where the Phillies are headed after this. Game Time app. Download the Game Time app to your phone, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you take advantage of all they have to offer on the Game Time app. Download it to your phone, create an account, use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. See at the bottom of the screen right there. LOCKEDONMLB. You'll get $20 off your first purchase. Locked On MLB when you download the Game Time app. They have last-minute ticket deals, flash ticket deals, even ticket deals for an hour after the event starts. So when you're thinking about going to the comedy show, the concert, whatever the case might be, going to the game, of course, you download the Game Time app, you create an account, use promo code LOCKEDONMLB, and get $20 off your first purchase. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with the Game Time app. You could view your seat before you buy it so you know exactly your vantage point of the event or the game. Go ahead and do that for yourself. And how about this? The Game Time guarantee. If you find tickets in the same section, same row for less money elsewhere, the Game Time app will refund your account 110% of the difference. So download the Game Time app to your phone, create an account, and have yourself a great time with the Game Time app. Also, let's not forget about those last-minute ticket deals, those flash ticket deals, all those involved. They have a great time waiting for you on the Game Time app. Want to go to the game tomorrow before the Phillies head on a road trip? Do so with the Game Time app. Once again, download the Game Time app to your phone, create that account, use promo code LOCKEDONMLB, and take advantage of all they have to offer on the Game Time app. Terms do apply. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets thanks to the Game Time app. Game Time app, promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Looking ahead, your Philadelphia Phillies are back on the diamond tomorrow afternoon, 1:35 in South Philadelphia before they head on that road trip. Yanni Chirios goes on the mound for the Marlins. He's got a 2.70 ERA. He has pitched in just 2 games so far this season. Both of them have been starts. He's allowed 3 earned runs in 10 innings going into tomorrow's game. Tomorrow for the Phils to counter the righty
will be Ranger Suarez. He'll be back on the hill for the Phillies again, going for his 11th win of the season. He is 10-2 and coming off a losing effort against the Detroit Tigers, where he went 6 innings, allowing 2 earned runs, 4 runs in total on 8 hits, striking out 4. Look to bounce back with his ERA that's now over 2. It's 2.01 on this season. Good Lord, Ranger Suarez. Let's get it together. He'll be on the hill for the Phillies tomorrow for that 1:35 start time. And then what we've been talking about, the Phillies got a road trip coming up, and they'll be on the road for a bit. So after tomorrow, they got 3 in Chicago, then 3 in Atlanta, and then they come home to face the Dodgers for a 3-game series in South Philly, and then they have a 3-game series with the Oakland A's before heading into the All-Star break. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Appreciate you guys really sticking. The people that I saw, like 19 people that were still waiting throughout the whole thing, through all the technical difficulties. Thank you guys so much. In particular, thank you. And to anyone else who checked out the show today, thank you. Make sure you guys like and subscribe on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. That's Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Be back with you guys tomorrow for your Phillies postcast, and hopefully a fixed camera by then after the Phillies hopefully split with the Marlins tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hit like and subscribe. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.